Hi guys, I'm Chris from Nutribox, and today I'm going to be showing you how to do a southern fried chicken burger with some sweet potato wedges and a side of super slaw. So first of all, we need a chicken breast, and we're going to butterfly the breast like we did in a previous video you may have seen. If not, just put the breast down on the board, get a knife, and you're just going to hold it flat and cut through sideways with the knife about 3/4 of the way through, and then open the breast up and just trim it a little bit down the middle of it to get it nice and flat. So again, we've ended up with a nice butterfly breast. Then what we're going to want is an egg, what we can whisk up, and we've also got some oats with a southern fried mix in it. So we're going to dip the chicken in the egg, give it a nice coating, and then from the egg mix we're going straight into the southern fried oat mix, and them oats are going to stick onto this chicken breast, and when we come to cook it, the oats are really going to crisp up nice and give it a little coating with the southern fried crust. Now you can double dip it if you want to. You could go back into the egg now and then dip it again into the oats to soak them all up, or you can just leave it as a single coat if you feel that you've got enough coat on it. So now that we've breadcrumbed the chicken breast, we can set that to one side. We've got a pan with some coconut oil in, what we're going to heat up. That's what we're going to fry the chicken breast in. We're going to cook it for about 3 or 4 minutes on each side just to get it nice and golden, and then we'll transfer it onto an oven tray with a rack so any excess fat can drip off it. Before we do that, we're going to make the sweet potato wedges. So on the top and tail of the sweet potato, we can leave the skins on. I'm going to cut this one in half because it's quite long, and I'll probably get about 6 wedges out of this, maybe a few more depending how thick you want them. Using the claw technique where the knife's coming through the middle of my hand so I don't cut my fingers. And set the potato on its side so it doesn't rock about. Now we've got some nice potato wedges. Cut them a little bit thinner than that. Again, if you want to keep them thick, you can do. It'll just take a little bit longer to cook in the oven. So what have we got there? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 actual wedges off just one sweet potato. So in a pan, we'll get it nice and warm, and we're going to put these sweet potatoes into the pan just to start them off on the cooking process. And we've just got a little bit of a seasoning mix what we're going to put over them before we drop them into the oven, which is just a little bit of smoked paprika and some salt. Then we can start the southern fried chicken cooking. So again, turn your pan on, get it nice and warm, and while we're waiting for that to warm up, we'll start thinking about the super slaw, what we're going to make to go with it, whilst also keeping an eye on the wedges, constantly trying to move them about, not letting them burn. If the pan gets too hot and they look like they're going to burn, just turn the pan down or take them off the heat. So for the super slaw, we'll be using white cabbage, carrot and onion, some curly kale, whole grain mustard, and Greek yogurt. So now the oil's nice and hot for the southern fried chicken burger to go into. We can transfer the burger into the pan. And now, because I've handled raw chicken, I need to wash my hands off. So now that the sweet potato fries have started to seal on both sides, we can now introduce a seasoning mix to them. And just give them a flip round in the pan just to coat them all in the seasoning. And then what we can do with them is turn the fries off while we concentrate on the chicken. That's been frying now for about 3 minutes. So being very careful because it's got hot oil in. We just give it a little move in the pan which just lets the oil coat the sides of it. And then what we want to do with a pair of tongs is turn it over in the pan so it starts to cook the other side. So very carefully, over it goes. And then once that's had about 3 minutes in the oil that side, we're going to put it back in the oven along with the wedges for around about 8 to 10 minutes just to let that cook. And while that's cooking, we'll concentrate on the super slaw. So now that the chicken and the wedges are in the oven, we'll take the cabbage, and what we want to do is really tuck your fingers in and do some nice thin slices. Do it at your own speed, whatever you're comfortable with, because you don't want to be cutting your fingers. And then we want something to put all the cut up vegetables in. Same with the onion, nice thin slices. You want to scrunch the kale up into like a ball and try and put that down on the chopping board. So again, you can slice it. So some of it will sort of spring back out the kale, like scrunching a sponge up. But that's fine, we can have a few bigger pieces in there, it gives it a different texture. Again, into the pot that goes. Then the carrot, I've already peeled my carrot. And we want to cut it as thin as we can. Or you could use a grater. This carrot again gives it a lovely different texture and it shows through with the colour at the end of it. So then we want a little bit of the yoghurt. And some of the mustard. And if you get yourself a spoon, give that a mix together and then set it to one side. Okay then guys, so the chicken's cooked now, the wedges are cooked, all we need to assemble. No, we don't.
Precious, you've got to stop it to start it again.
Oh, we just roll it?
Yeah, just cut you out.
Stories. Okay guys, so the chicken and wedges are cooked now, we've taken them out of the oven, all the excess fat's come off it. All we need to do now is assemble the meal. So we've got a bagel, straight on the plate with the bagel. Take the chicken breast, you can hear that nice crispy crunch on it. And some of the wedges. Move it down onto the plate. And then finally some of the super slaw we've made. Get plenty of that on, nice and healthy. And now we've got a southern fried burger with super slaw and sweet potato wedges.